Good morning, Mary. Good morning, Kelly. Good morning, Lisa. Just posting out to groups right now. Just give me a moment. If you guys want to post out to groups, that would be greatly appreciated. Wherever you would post, even to your own pages or wherever, I would greatly appreciate the shout outs. I didn't post to groups yesterday because I wanted to see what happened, how many of my viewers actually posted, that sort of a thing, and also sort of how many views we get without posting it to anywhere other than the normal groups. So I just was wondering, trying to get a gauge on sort of, because my views have been climbing, but I can't figure out why, because I've been posting in the same spaces. So I don't know, either that means more people on Facebook are watching or not. So I'm trying to sort of get a feeling of what is going on. So today I'm posting to all groups. That's why it's taking me a little bit longer. But if you guys want to share out, that would be greatly appreciated too. Before we get started, I am going to say this. I was thinking about it. I've been reflecting on those cards from the last few days. And I looked at the calendar because I write down the cards every day after we do the reading, just so I can track and keep a record of sort of what's coming up, if there's any patterns, because I believe that, patterns are definitely there to show us stuff. And I was looking at it, and it's like, I forgot that we had that Ten of Cups as our lead energy on Sunday, even though we've seen it twice again this week. The Ten of Cups keeps showing up too, that joy balance thing. And then it got me to thinking that, today's 12/20 as I was putting in the date. It's the closing of the portal tomorrow. And all of that Nine of Swords energy started happening on the 10th. That's when we first saw the Nine of Swords. Um, and it started on the 10th, the 11th, the 12th, the 13th, where it was like boom, 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 and then the 14th. So that was like the opening of the portal. And so now we're getting ready to close it, and I just sort of feel like I was thinking about it this morning, and I'm wondering if possibly Spirit is trying to get a message through to us before this doorway closes for the end of the year. I don't want to freak anybody out. I don't think it's about anything about fear or worry, but I do think that the message has been strong for all of us to sort of let go of whatever's not serving us. And I feel like I spend a lot of time talking about that, and I wonder sometimes, am I just, sounding a bit like a broken record? But I feel like that's definitely sort of the message that's going on here. I don't think it's any one specific person. I want to get that clear too. I feel like it is the group. I feel like, it's those of us that tune in and watch. It's also the intention is those of us that tune in and watch at any point in time in the future, right? So it could be for people that haven't even watched yet. But for those of us that are watching now, I think it's just as valid and important that we pay attention and utilize this time to shed off anything we don't want to carry into 2020 with us. So that's, how I'm seeing it. Do with that what you will. All right, so I am going to say this. Beyond all of that stuff, let me see here, sorry. Okay, we're all shared out now. Who was all here? Hey, Kristen, Nicole Wilson, good morning. Good morning, Ducky. Good morning, Lisa. I said good morning to Lisa. Good morning, Dina, Ziskin Fortune. Good morning, Karen. How are you? It's Karen over on YouTube says, you don't sound like a broken record. You sound like a spiritual healer who needs to get the message across. Well, maybe. I don't know. I hope that you guys, the thing is I'm here. My role is to help facilitate or sort of give you guys ideas, give you guys a forecast of sort of what we might be dealing with and what we might be looking at. And the emphasis is that Spirit brings the message through, kind of thing, right? Through the cards. And I just sort of interpret it as I see it. Or as I feel it, or where I'm guided to go, right? In the description, in whatever. So, this is your energetic forecast, right? This is sort of, and this is for everybody. It's intended for everybody. And I always say, take what you need and leave the rest. And it's fine for those of you that don't feel connected to the message. but the message is definitely strong, guys. And it's like, I was thinking about the fact that those three cards just switched spots. Two of the cards just switched spots, and the Five of Swords, that adversary card, was still in the same position as the day before. And so I was kind of thinking, like, is there something we're not getting? Is there some, I mean, I've even like meditated on the fact that, like, is this about me? Because I'm the one touching the cards. Is there something going on in my space? Like, I've had to look at it and really kind of try and figure out, am I not, is it me affecting the reading, or is there something that I'm missing, something I'm not seeing, um, that Spirit's trying to drive home? So, and I don't know that it's necessarily all of that. I mean, I'm certainly open to those ideas. I always, kind of ask Spirit for guidance. Certainly sat this morning prior to getting online asking Spirit for guidance again. I've saged the cards this morning. I mean, I did sage the other night, um, but, and I sage this office all the time before getting on. But I did a little ritual this morning to sort of cleanse the decks, to let us see if there's anything else we need to know. If these cards come back today, there's nothing I can do other than just tell you that we're still sort of holding in this pattern. And that pattern may be needed. That might be the closing of this portal, right? And the focusing. And there's certainly, in the winter months, there's no problem with slowing down and focusing on these things. So I don't think that this is a bad thing or a negative message, or that people aren't doing their work per se. What I do think is that we have to sit with ourselves, right? And we have to sort of figure out where it is we want to be, what it is we want to start with the new year, what it is we want to, sort of close up from the last, not only year, but decade. Andrew said it yesterday. He's like, we do have the beginning of a new decade coming and the end of this previous one. And I can tell you from my own experience, mine has kicked my ass. Not kicked my ass in a bad way. I mean, I've survived it. I'm proud of how I've handled myself through the last 10 years. But it was a roller coaster, And I did the best that I could in any given moment. And, good for me. Did I handle it perfectly? Not necessarily. But this next, am I wiser because of that? Yeah. And I take it as that. And I sort of move along with that. Am I more calm at the end of this decade? Am I more balanced? I feel as though I am. I find that things that would have gotten my goat 10 years ago that goat ain't gotten. Okay. That goat ain't even like, oh hell no. So, I don't know. I'm just interested to see where this goes this morning. The other thing is what's everybody saying? I'm sorry, I'm seeing, good morning, Anjali, how are you? Lisa's saying, I think we all have a connection to certain aspects of those recurring cards for the end of the year. Yes, you are right, Dan. I agree, Lisa. I agree with that. Kristen Nicole Wilson says, I've been getting a lot of declutter messages too. Guides want time to clean out closets, junk drawers, old clothes, clear my mind space, my aura, limiting beliefs, toxic connections, etc., etc., etc. They want me clear and ready to go for 2020. Definitely a collective message right now as well. Thank you, Kristen Nicole Wilson. I love that you just typed that. That's beautiful, succinct, to the point. And what I feel like I'm getting like the so my guides are right along with your guides, I think, dear. They are definitely just trying to tell us, like, hey guys, this is our opportunity, like spring cleaning in the middle of winter. It's sort of how it feels. The word time in the above comment was supposed to be me. Hello, guides want me to be clear. I get it. I totally get it. And we're hearing this message over and over again. I just feel like I'm boring the shit out of you guys. They're like, oh god, that card again? Hi, Tara Noseworthy. How are you? Good morning. So we're going to see what happens today with these cards. Like I said, I have sat in contemplation over especially yesterday. I have thought on this. I have, looked at it. I've meditated on it. I've tried to step my own energy out of the situation. But ideally, this is, the collective message for the higher, the collective consciousness, right? It's the higher message from the collective conscious to us as part of that collective conscious. The reason why I enjoy sort of doing this is because it includes all of us, right? It allows me to get a message out to everybody early in the morning, including myself, right? So, because it's where we all come from, you know, and it's where we all head back to, you know. And what else do I want to say really quick? I don't know. This is a little long-winded. I try and keep these. I've been trying to shave these videos down a little bit um, for viewership's sake and all of that. But you know, maybe I just need to not do that and just be myself and talk about what I want to talk about. What else? Oh, the other thing I was contemplating is this death card and this sort of letting go. And I was sort of thinking about, okay, so what can I let go of? If it's something that I'm not seeing, or if it's something that I'm not necessarily catching on to, is there anything in my world that I'm not catching on to? And certainly, I have this struggle with the slow growth of my YouTube channel. I have this struggle with the slow growth of, am I doing the right thing? This isn't moving. I have these ideas of this is what I feel like I'm supposed to be doing. It certainly feels good to me and it's what I want to be doing. But as the growth is so small, and chunk by chunk progression is very, very slow, I start to get fearful and I start to think, oh my God, maybe I'm making the wrong decision. Maybe I'm chasing a pipe dream, right? Maybe this is not what's supposed to happen. Because I've had things synchronistically fall together where, you know, I couldn't have put it together if I tried. And I know that it was spirit or it was, you know, God, my higher power, whatever you want to call it, that sort of helped me along the way. And I keep praying, I want to do this, right? This is what I want to give my time to. This is what I want to give my energy to. Um, and so maybe that's something that I need to let go of as we walk into 2020, right? Is that sort of fear, and that's my death card, right? I was thinking about the significance of the death card too, is that like the thing is I'm going to say this. I feel like the significance of that death card is that whatever it is we need to let go of, it's going to be unavoidable, right? Death is sort of that like that instance that we all have to face at some point in time that's inevitable, right? So the significance of the death card is not to be afraid of it, but to also know that regardless whether we walk into it or it carries us with it, we're gonna go. Similar to the sort of like the tower, I feel the tower is the same way. The tower is like having the rug ripped out from under us from something that we expected to stay a certain way for a very long time, and it maybe isn't at this point. But it's really about how graceful do we sort of move through that experience. I think these cards are giving us that opportunity to bring in that grace, and I've said that with that black sun. It's sort of like the sun is rising. There will be a new dawn. We just don't know what that dawn is. That's why the sun looks black to us, or it might be scary or frightening or unknown. Ooh. So, that being said, let's get into the breath work for this morning. Good morning, Jen Nichols. Sorry, I have to say this. I have to acknowledge this too. I was supposed to do Jen Nichols' mediumship reading yesterday, and I canceled on her. I had a bit of a headache after yesterday's forecast. I'm not exactly sure, and I was just not feeling it. And I really want to give Jen an actual real mediumship experience as best I can, because I'm still practicing this mediumship stuff. I'm trying to get better at it and get more evidential um, stuff. Right now, I feel like I'm pulling things and I don't fully understand how I'm doing it, right? So I want to be centered and grounded for that. So Jen, I have not forgotten about you, and I appreciate you being so flexible with me. But yesterday I just got off of those cards and I was like, I don't feel it. I've been very, very tired the last, I don't know, couple of days, and I don't know if I'm sort of resting up because Paul is coming on the 23rd and 24th, just to give you guys a bit of idea on my schedule. I am going to pre-tape. I need to do that in the next few days. I've kind of procrastinated a little bit. I need to get January's videos up for the horoscopes, and I think the tarot scopes. I think I'm going to start those today. I want to do all the fire signs on one video together: earth, air, and water, right? And so that we only have 4 videos to look at, and they'll be time stamped, so you guys will just have to go to the fire signs to watch your sign or whatever. That might make it easier for me is what I'm hoping, and I might be able to bang out them quicker, and we have less videos across the YouTube channel. I'm going to try that. If we don't like that, then I'll go back to the old way, but I also want to get these done before Paul gets here. I'm driving to go get Paul on the 23rd, and then driving home on the 24th. I will be back on the 25th. There might be a morning forecast on the 25th just because it will be Christmas. We'll see. But I don't expect all of you guys to be here. That's fine. But then Paul will be with me till the 6th of January. So, I don't know. He's going to be sort of my main focus. I will be doing the morning forecasts, just so you guys know. But I don't know how exactly on time I will be. But that's what's going on for me. And I've just been feeling, I don't know, a little bit tired and a little bit procrastinating. But let's do the breath work, guys. And I kind of can't not procrastinate, or else the Taroscopes are not going to get out before January 1st. And with Paul here, I don't know what that's going to look like. So I'd rather have that stuff taken care of and up, so that it's just the daily forecast every day. All right. Now, that's me with my attention in the fucking future. That's me, like, stretching my energy out to the future, trying to, like, think and control and manipulate and, and it's, like, almost wasted energy. I need to bring that back right here, right now, and start to work from this place, here and now. And that's what this breath work is about, right? So let's get into this, right? Let's place our feet firmly on the ground, bring our energy in from wherever it is. It's the holiday season, guys. It could be on Christmas gifts, it could be on relatives, it could be on last year's Christmas, it could be on a Christmas dinner from 5 years ago. Call that energy back, call your attention back to this present moment, close your eyes, bring your attention onto your body, right? Let's just take a couple of breaths just to kind of release any tension. I like to touch my body to bring my attention back to my body. The ideal is to bring your attention right back into the center of your head, right here behind your eyes, right at your 6th chakra. But if you don't necessarily feel that, that's okay. If you can just bring your attention to this present moment, to your body. We're going to take in a breath deep through the nose, deep into the belly, and we're going to hold it for a few seconds while we sort of expand a white light within our body, right? As we release that breath, we want to release anything that's no longer serving us, anything that's not working for us, anything that doesn't belong to us. That's just the intention. We don't have to work hard at it. We just allow it to go with ease and grace, just sort of release it. And as we release that breath of air, just give thanks to first the body, which is our densest vibration, then the mind, then the spirit on the 3rd breath. So join me now, and let's inhale through the nose. Inhale. Hold and emanate that light. Adjust your chakras, or just intend for them to be set at grace and ease. Release that breath. Really just letting go of anything that we don't need right now. And giving thanks to the body for everything that it does for us. For the beautiful vehicle that it is in its present state. Just acknowledging it, saying hello, and saying thank you. And for some of you, that might be emotional, right? It was for me when I first started doing this. Because I realized, like, I connected to my body, and I was like, oh my God, I haven't talked to you in 30 years. And that can be an emotional experience, right? But our body can be also very forgiving too. So we want to get into that forgiveness and that gratitude of the body and allow it to return that energy back to us, right? Let's take in that 2nd breath. And hold. Adjust those chakras to grace and ease. Just allow them to sort of slowly come in alignment. Emanate that light out to the outer edges of your body, to your tips of your fingers, the top of your head, and the bottoms of your feet. And release that breath. Really just letting go. Feeling ease and grace sort of fill your space, your body. Saying thank you to the mind for all that it does for you, even if it's worry and doubt. Those things are sort of this backwards effort to try to protect us, but we can always look at those, acknowledge them, thank the mind for having those thoughts, and then sort of not necessarily acting on them, right? But when we acknowledge that, it also sort of helps to stop the mind or slow the mind down a little bit. Seeing the mind and the body kind of come together in communion, in support of one another, in gratitude of one another, connecting to one another. You know how the family gets together for the holidays? How about our mind, body, and spirit get together for the holidays, right? Make it like a Hallmark commercial. Or let's take in that 3rd breath. hold, emanate that light past your body, out into your auric field, all the way around you. That bright, beautiful white light that is us, that can be trusted, relied upon. Any last minute adjustments to the chakras, and release that breath. Giving thanks to the Spirit for all that it does for us, for all that it wants to teach us, for all the love that it wants to bestow upon us. Allowing that love to come in today, allowing that love to connect to our body and to our mind, allowing all three of those components of ourselves to be in connection, in admiration, in gratitude for each other, working together in grace and ease, right? Take a few breaths here and just kind of hold this space for yourself if you can. What does this feel like for you? See the triangle with the three components, the mind, the body, and the spirit, each with like a sort of energetic connection happening between the three. Neither component more important or valuable than the other, all in equality, all in balance, all in appreciation. Give this gift to yourself. It's the Christmas season, right? We can give ourselves this gift. Take one final last breath and release it. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Okay, guys. So let's get into the cards for today, for the 20th, 12/20. We're at Friday. God, this week is flying by. Good morning, Kelly Camp. How are you? Good morning, Carla. Good morning, Francisco Jorge. You saw a ton of sunflowers on that third breath? That's beautiful. That's the thing too, like you guys pay attention to what happens during this breath work, because I think that sunflowers to me could be energy, they could be beauty, what does a sunflower represent to you, Lisa? Right? They could be sort of sustenance because we eat sunflower seeds. You know, they can represent, that's a beautiful image to be shown. So I would ask myself, what does that mean to me? Is that spirit trying to like communicate with me? Is it trying to give me energy through those sunflowers? Is it trying to show me its strength and my own strength and energy and vitality through those sunflowers? So I ask the spirit to please give us the cards that we need for this day. All of us that are watching, what do we need to know? And those of us that may tune in at any point in time in the future, what do we need to know? What's going to serve our highest good? Where do we need to focus our attention and today? Good morning, Tracy Carlson. How are you? Okay, let's see where we're at, guys. Okay, well, the next card is something different. So, I'm gonna flip. Fuck, this is weird. Alright, I'm gonna flip the camera really quick so you guys can watch. It's the Five of Swords again, guys. It's this adversary card. Let me put up the chat window really quick just so I can see what you guys are saying. I am gonna put up the next card just because I want to look at this. This is the Seven of Cups, which is the word underneath it says temptation. And it's funny to me because I don't really want to give this Five of Swords much attention right now because we've been looking at this card literally. It has shown up. I was looking at the month and it has shown up. It started on like December 7th. It's shown up a lot this month in the beginning. And the card, just so for those of you that are new, the card says adversary at the bottom. And I really look at this card as this opportunity for us to sort of not give in to, and it's funny because we have this temptation card to me, which says to me, like, do not give in to the temptations of sort of what's going on here. I feel like it's like, do not allow yourself to be drawn in. Be like that tree that we see here in this Five of Swords card, where it's centered, grounded, connected, strong. We may have issues like these three little woodpeckers that are in the nest that live within this tree. This might be our children for some of us that are parents that maybe have smaller children that are needing our attention all of the time, or crying out, me, 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 or Christmas, Christmas, and we're tired, right? Maybe we're, feeling pulled in different directions by family members. Maybe we're feeling like we're not necessarily being acknowledged, right? But these are all thoughts that we're having, and I think that what we need to do is be aware of the thoughts that we're having and get clear on the thoughts that we're having. Which thoughts are adversarial, right? Which thoughts are the ones that are we're focusing on what's not working or what's bothersome about this, right? And I think that we have this snake coming out of the nest, right? So these woodpeckers, they're sort of fighting to protect their babies in some way, right? But I feel like, we need to sort of let go of this snake. To me is also like these thoughts or these ideas. These woodpeckers, I've said this in previous readings with this card, I really, when I look at this card, I get this sense that they will fly off, that they are temporary, right? That these things that might seem like annoyances or struggles, and they're minute really in the grand scheme of things. This tree is so much larger, stronger, and able to even house some of these issues, house some of these problems, and still be strong and stable and solid amidst them. Does that make sense? And I feel like there's a detachment with this card that we might want to think about, okay, especially going into sort of like the rest of this month. Um, where the holidays can be triggery for some people. The holidays can bring up issues around family and things like that. So to me, this feels like maybe we need to sort of stand strong, be aware of our thoughts, don't necessarily give in to the drama or the whatever it may be. If this is the henpecking of a partner, or if this is the judgment of a parent, or if this is the screaming of the children, or the feeling betrayed by a friend, whatever this is for you, like, try and find some sort of freedom from it. Try and give yourself that sort of mental detachment where you don't necessarily buy into the adversarial qualities of it, where you don't necessarily buy into the negativity of it, where you don't necessarily give it too much time or space in your head. It might feel like there's a lot. Some of you might have multiple situations going on, like you're spinning a bunch of plates on top of sticks, and you're trying to keep it all going and stay centered. But I think that this card ultimately says to me, we get to choose where we focus our energy, where we get to focus our mental energy, certainly, and our thoughts. And if we're focused on, I don't know, how miserable a situation is, or how unfair life may be, or how, Jesus, why do I have to be the one that has to do this Christmas? Whatever it is for us, whatever that thought is, we need to understand that it's not working in our favor, and we need to sort of ground ourselves and get centered and realize that this stuff is temporary. This year's too shall pass. This decade soon shall pass. These situations can grow, and we can continue to grow even amidst these situations. Now, I'm going to move on to the Seven of Cups. It's funny to me because this looks like temptation, and it looks like all of these flowers are watching this scenario. Do you see that, guys? Like, it looks like all these flowers are like, hey, what's going on over here with this tree and these birds? The card's word for the morning is temptation, and to me it feels like it may be tempting to sort of want to bite. It may be tempting to want to get caught up in these thoughts, or this, how do I fix this? How do I solve this? How do I make this not happen? Sometimes things have to happen that maybe aren't necessarily the best situations for us, right? Sometimes we have to deal with a pain in the ass partner, or you know screaming children, or judgmental parents. The question is do we grow beyond that and allow those things to no longer have the emotional charge that they maybe did a year ago or 2 years ago, right? Can we remain detached and centered and understand that in any given moment they're doing the best that they can, as are we, right? And so this feels to me like, I feel like this temptation card says to me, don't give in to the temptation of this stuff today. And maybe we've been entertaining that a little bit too much, and that's why we've been seeing these repeats of these cards, like the Death card, the Five of Swords, the Nine of Swords, all of this sort of thought activity. Are we focused? Are we focusing too much on what's wrong? Right? Are we focusing too much on how things aren't working for us, or where things aren't working for us, and trying to get those things fixed before the end of the year? Because that's not the message. If that's how you guys have been maybe interpreting it, and I'm not saying that you have, but if there's a possibility that that's what everybody's been scrambling around trying to do is, oh, let's get this fixed and done before the end of the year. The way to fix it might be actually just to come into acceptance with the situation or the person or the children as they are versus trying to change it. It's like shore up yourself and ground yourself versus trying to sort of change the things that are outside of your control. Does that make sense? The temptation card to me, also the Seven of Cups, not seven, the Cups aspect of it is an emotional card, right? It deals with the element of water. So to me, emotionally you might feel triggered, tempted, you might want to bite, you might get that phone call, or, if it's children or friends, they might say that thing that sets you off. Don't allow for it. Try and be aware of it and try and calm it. This Five of Swords to me really feels like there is an opportunity here to realize how centered and strong we are. To detach, I'm going to say that one more time, detach ourselves from the emotionality or the temptation of the emotionality of the situation. And the reason why I say that is when I look at this Seven of Cups card, these flowers, although they're focused on this situation from an emotional standpoint, I feel like they are very fragile. So we may be in still a fragile state. We're not seeing ourselves as, emotionally we might feel fragile right now. There's some growth that's happening here, like new flowers coming up. So I feel like we're in a little bit of a tender spot as we move in out of this decade into the new decade, as we move through the holidays. To me, some of us might be feeling that a little bit, feeling the loss of loved ones or the missing of loved ones, feeling the disconnection. Those sort of things also sort of make us a little bit vulnerable or feel a little bit more delicate. And these flowers certainly have that feeling to me. So as they sort of emotionally, from an emotional place, are acknowledging what's going on around them that they maybe don't like, it's real easy for us to get caught into the adversarialness of people and their, goofiness, right? But we want to be strong like this tree, right? We want to be centered, grounded, and also understand that there's a beauty and a strength in these fragile flowers, but we don't want to get caught up, because I have a feeling that emotionally these flowers will just sort of, it'll get the best of them, if that makes sense. Now I'm going to pull one more card just because that's what we've been doing. Oh, beautiful. Wow. So this is the Judgment card. Wow. Look at that angel sitting there. Okay, so I want to look at this really quick because this is the first time we've seen this card in this deck. What are those? Are those turtles or beetles? I think they're beetles. That's interesting. So this is, I think these are beetles. They look like beetles to me, and they're climbing up out of the dirt. And you know what this makes me think of? This makes me think of that Ten of Cups dirt that we saw, where I was like, are we in dirt, or are we looking at the beauty and the growth of the flowers, right? And to me, these beetles are sort of climbing up out of the mud and sort of being placed underneath the grace of this angel. And they're hearing his song, or this to me looks like us hearing spirit kind of calling us forward in our life, like he's playing this music. The Judgment card is always about sort of fair ruling, things coming to sort of a clear and final ending. I sort of feel like this, as I look at this card, I'm looking at him blowing this horn, and it's almost as if like sort of spirit or the angels are kind of getting ready to close the portal, and it's time for us to come up out of the muck and mire, out of our own dirt, and look at things from a different perspective, see the light, see sort of the bright blue skies,
feel the joy, hear the song of spirit, allow that song to guide us, is kind of what I'm feeling here. I love that this sort of orange sun that he sits in sort of mimics the fragility and the beauty of these flowers that's in the Seven of Cups. To me, I feel like if we, like this feels like digging ourselves up out of these adversarial situations and not allowing them or giving them the, the uh, sort of the negative attention that we maybe have in the past, right? And so when I'm looking at this judgment card, I feel like I'm hearing the word discernment, like discerning what deserves our attention and what doesn't, and also like being conscious of where our judgment of a situation is at, right? Are we looking at it from a place of love, or are we looking at it from a place of sort of, you damn bastard? That's totally my grandmother. I have to say, that's me channeling my grandmother. She used to say that all the time. You goddamn dirty bastards. So, like, are you looking at something from a place of frustration, resistance, anger? Or are you looking at it from a place of love and acceptance and, non-judgment? I also like that this judgment card is 20, number 20, which is, we're going into 2020. We're also on the 20th day of the month, right? So that's interesting to me. So I just noticed that, the number 20. So let me look at the song in my heart and see what the song in my heart's going to say this morning. I really feel like this judgment is a dawning of a new day. I feel like the skies are opening up for us. This is a major arcana card, guys. There's going to be some awarenesses or some awakenings that happen possibly today for some of us, where we're going to start to hopefully see and hear like the music of this angel, or the voice of our spirit, or the voice of our spirit guides. It's going to guide us in a way that's different than what we've been sort of working with. And I think if we're open to it and we allow for it, we're going to be able to dig ourselves up out of the, sort of the muck and mire and move forward. But this is, to me, I'm looking at this judgment card, and this feels like spirit sort of ringing the bell for dinner time, right? Like, how do I want to explain this? Like, we've been looking at these cards over and over again. Judgment's like, okay, here I am. Spirit's sitting there going, okay, guys, everybody come forward. We've heard the message over and over. Did you get it? Like, because we're going to shut the door now, so let's go. And we're climbing up out of the muck and mire, and we're moving into 2020. I submit to my purpose. I will use any opportunity to utilize my skills and passion to create a life of happiness. I'm going to read that one more time because I think that's beautiful. I submit to my purpose. I will use any opportunity to utilize my skills and passion to create a life of happiness. What I like about this card is I love that we have this adversary card where we have these two woodpeckers kind of fighting against the tree. And here is us sort of saying, I submit to my purpose. And we have these two birds. They're not necessarily woodpeckers, but they kind of have built this sort of communal space around her heart chakra. And they've got this, what appears to be, it's like a bow of holly, but to me it looks sort of like almost like their nest. Like, this situation has become calm and peaceful in her heart, right? And she's allowing these birds to sort of reside with her, but she's yet centered and she's strong. And she allows them this space in her heart, but it's not like adversarial or all the chaos that's happening up in this card. Do you see what I'm saying? She seems more like, she's able to create that life of happiness. She's able to create that space of peace within herself. So what goes on around her necessarily doesn't have to affect her in the way that it normally has in the past. And then here we go. It can't be any clearer, guys. I radiate acceptance. Like the Katiki Point Lighthouse, I strive to offer others safe passage. So, and then it's funny, we have these birds in this card, right, that mimic this Five of Swords. We have this flower, this sort of daffodil draped over her shoulder that makes me think of the flowers that are here in this Seven of Cups card. And when I look at this, she has this sort of tattoo of this lighthouse with this light expanding across her shoulder, across her heart. And to me, this is sort of like the light that we build every day in the morning breath, right? She's radiating acceptance. She's submitting to her purpose. Maybe her purpose is to radiate acceptance, to allow others to be where they are in any given moment, and then just be like, you know what, that's okay that you're there. It may not be where I want you, but that's okay. You're outside of my control. And I expend way too much energy and way too much thought that doesn't serve me by trying to get you to where I need you to be. So I'm going to accept where you are. I'm going to accept my purpose, and I'm going to allow you to be there and not like necessarily get hooked in or charged by it or affected by it in the way that I have in the past, right? And to me, there feels like there is a release that's happening in these cards. I think that some of you must be tightening the grip, or untightening the grip, I want to say. So let's see what the grounding stone is for today. Yeah, Carla says on Facebook, this reading is so peaceful. I believe that too. So the grounding stone is relax. So yesterday was the grounding stone was health. Today is about relaxing. I think that today is good to relax. I think that maybe some of us have gotten a little bit uptight, myself included, about the repeat of these cards. Maybe, feeling a little bit worried that we're missing something here. I certainly was like reflecting upon that yesterday, trying to make sure that I'm doing the right thing and giving out right messages. I feel like this is a shift in that. I feel like we do have this Five of Swords to remind us that we get to consciously choose where we put our energy, where we put our attention. The moment that we start to shift that, the moment that we don't give in to that, the moment that we sort of like do what these Song of My Heart cards are saying, which is radiating acceptance and submitting to our own purpose, creating, like focusing on that life and that enjoyment, that idea of happiness. That's when that judgment card opens up. Our judgments change about a situation. We feel more peace within the situation. We're able to allow people to be where they're at. And there's a powerful healing that takes place in that. Not only for them as we allow them and validate them for where they're at, even if we don't agree with it, right? But there's a healing that takes place for ourselves because we sort of unhook ourselves from the charge or the hook that's been there for however long, right? And some of these hooks could be there our entire lives, right? But we want to evolve, we want to grow, and I think that that's what's happening here. Is we're seeing that in that Seven of Cups. There is that growth, those sort of frail flowers. To me, I don't think that they're frail necessarily as much as they're new, right? And they're delicate. Our emotions are delicate, and it's okay to honor our emotions as being delicate, but it's also our job to sort of be, how do I want to say, responsible for our emotional selves, responsible for our energetic bodies, responsible for our mental bodies, and how we utilize them. We're going to have to be more conscious of this as we progress into the future. We can't get away with not being aware and responsible for it. We're watching unaware people running countries that shouldn't be doing it, right? There's a lot going on for the world right now. Can you not scratch up the chair? I'm going to be responsible for beating your cat body if you don't stop scratching that damn chair. That chair was expensive. Anyways. Hey! Sorry that you guys had to see me yell, but I do not want him scratching the chair like that. So this is about creating your happiness consciously, digging yourself up out of the dirt, allowing yourself to be centered and strong and in the present moment, radiating that acceptance not only of yourself but of others, wearing maybe the fragility of this, these emotions on your sleeve. Doesn't necessarily mean that we have to allow them to hurt us, right? Don't come back and go for that chair, Sven. Don't do it.
Um, I think that this is a really beautiful space to be in. And I think if we relax into it today and we ground into this awareness today and we hold this at the forefront of today, we can see beautiful changes sort of take place for ourselves as this portal begins to close down on the 21st. And we'll see where these cards go over those days. I'm excited to see where they go. I think this is a really nice transition. Let's just say that. I also think with this judgment card, to me, it feels like there's a significant shift that's taking place, whether we're aware of it or not. You know, it may be small refocusing is sort of what I feel like, or, you know, like a different way of thinking and an acknowledgement of our emotions, not giving in to the temptation to let our emotions run wild and sort of take over, keeping our thoughts clear and finding that level of acceptance. And what's going to end up happening is a sort of there's this shift in our how we judge things, how we look at things, how we discern things. That's going to be rather large, and it could set us free to a degree. Is what I sort of feel like. You know, set us free from some behaviors or some ideas that maybe for a while they worked and now at this point they're no longer working for us. Trust yourself, trust your spirit, trust your guides, and relax today. And just allow yourself to sort of be gently aware of where your thoughts and your feelings are at. And then, you know, accept them. Hey, Janet Clifton, happy winter solstice to you too. Thank you, Jen Nichols. We need to figure out when to reschedule. I know the holidays are coming. I know you have a family, but we will get you rescheduled for a mediumship thing. I want to do that. Tonight is the charming. So that will be at 7:30. Let me switch cameras really quick. We have a charming tonight at 7:30. I am gonna try and I might have to go to Starbucks and get like some espresso, but I'm gonna try and do at least the fire signs, if not like 2 of the groups today. But that's like 6 horoscopes. We'll see. I'm going to try and do fire signs today, at least, and get that started. I only have, what is today, the 20th, the 21st, the 22nd, and then I leave the morning of the 23rd. So yeah, I got to jam these out. One of these days I'm going to have to at least put out 2 in one day. So maybe today's that day. So we'll see. So I'm going to do those live again, too. Just shoot them live because they go straight up and just upload. It's easier and less complications. Do not worry if I'm not responding to you as I'm filming them, because I'm not going to open up the chat window, so I won't be able to see your comments if you guys comment on Facebook. When you see stuff like horoscopes and things like that that go live, I don't have the chat window open. So if you guys are commenting, I can't see your comments. So don't think I'm avoiding you or not paying attention to you. I'm just doing the reading. Okay? Are you guys talking about me looking great in my hair? Or are you talking about, well, you can't be talking about each other's hair. Oh, thanks, guys, for the handsome comments. I actually got up and was up for a little while this morning, took a shower, and I needed to shave, but I didn't have time, so I'll probably do that tomorrow. So you guys, the date is 2020. We just shifted the year. I'm not sure. We're about to go into 2020, yes. It's 12/20 today. So, but they say that the portal closes on 12/21, you know, because of the mirror image of the numbers, 1221. and it opens on 12/12, right? So this has been a transitionary period, and that's why it's interesting to me, because I look, the Nine of Swords showed up for us at on 12/10, the 11th, the 12th, the 13th, the 14th. Like, it was like boom, 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 and then we had all that death card energy all this week happening, like reminding us, let go, shed, let go, shed. And so now it's time to relax. Know that we, just need to do sort of not necessarily minor adjustments, but just adjustments to our thoughts and our emotions, and um, and radiate acceptance and pursue our own purpose, submit to our purpose, which might be just to radiate acceptance and love people from where they're at. Because that in and of itself is a beautiful healing that we can give to others. And when we do that, we sort of give that gift to others, we also receive that gift back. Because we understand in acceptance for them that we can accept ourselves, right? And the more that we can accept ourselves, the more at peace we are, the more we bring that energy to the planet, and that sort of vibration to the planet. The more of us that do that, we affect others around us and enable them to do that. And wouldn't that be nice? It's funny, this morning I was singing in the shower. I love how Tallulah steals one of my slippers. I take my slippers off for the meditation, and she always pulls one away and puts her chin on it and uses it as a pillow. What was I going to say? I was in the shower this morning singing Little Drummer Boy, but I don't know the words. So I kept singing, the peace on earth, the bum. So that's like what's been playing in my head. So maybe this is just all about finding our own inner peace on earth, and then just radiating that and seeing how that shifts or changes our life or our world, our immediate environment, those of that are around us that might seem crazy or hectic. Keep that as your focus today. All right, you guys, I will see you guys tonight for the charming. Like I said, I'm going to maybe sign on in a little bit and do the fire signs. I might even hammer out the earth signs. So if you see me go live, you're certainly welcome to watch it live. As I said, I will have the chat box turned off. So if you comment over on Facebook, there's no way to comment on YouTube if you watch it from YouTube. But if you comment on Facebook, if I don't respond, it's because I don't have the chat window open. All right. Don't make fun of my singing. I know it's bad. I'm tone deaf as all get out, but whatever. All right, so that's a beautiful that's a beautiful visual, Jen Nichols. Jen Nichols over on YouTube says, I imagine the portal closing like a toilet bowl flushing, and I'm getting rid of all the emotional shit before 2020. And she used the poop emoji. I think that's a great mental image. Work with that. Like, I'm a firm believer in anything. I gotta say this too, in meditation, anything that sort of brings us a little bit of joy or a little bit of a giggle as we're looking at it or we're visualizing it is powerful stuff in meditation or in visualization work. Because I believe that the universe loves, or like sort of the universal energy loves laughter, loves joy, loves enthusiasm, like the enthusiasm of a small child. When we can get ourselves to that, that's a very high vibration. When we're laughing or we're finding humor in things or we're in amusement, that's a very high vibration. And so when we're like focusing on those things in meditation, like when I was going off about grace and ease and like the energies of grace and ease, and then imagining them in your meditation as two older women that like flank either side of you, right? As Grace, and the other lady's name is Ease, and bringing them into your space. To me, that makes me laugh, right? Because old women are knowledgeable, right? They are strong-willed, and they've been through it all, seen it all. They're not usually really impressed or threatened by anything. I've watched old ladies go after somebody half their age, male, doesn't matter. They're like, they could, these are all the fucks they have to give kind of thing. Like they could give a fuck, some old ladies. And I think that they're tough, yet they're also gentle. They're sweet, right? They can be sweet and loving and doting, yet they can be tough as nails, right? So to me, when I think about bringing in grace and ease, I think of them as like maybe they're two spirit guides for me. You know, maybe I'm creating the spirit guides or calling in the spirit guides. But to me, they have that energy of that distinct toughness and awareness. They've seen it all. They've been to the rodeo. You can't get one over on them. But they also love to give you a quarter in a cough drop. They'll give you baked goods and heal your boo-boos. You know, they'll love you until you can love yourself, kind of thing. And so to me, that makes me laugh, right? And I find goofiness about it. But in that laughter, I feel like there's an energetic ease that opens that door to allow those energies of grace and ease into my space. And the universe likes that, right? I feel like the universe is in line with that. So the universe is like, oh, that's funny. All right, we'll give you some grace and ease. Here you go. You know? And so so I think that Jen Nichols' idea of the toilet bowl, if that brings you a little bit of humor even, or it makes it very real for you, utilize it. It's a great idea. I sit in that salt bath, and as the water drains, I like literally physically sitting in it, I imagine everything draining off of me that I don't no longer need, and going down the tube and down and I just sit there and close my eyes and just feel that happening as the water's draining away. Anything that I didn't need is being drained away into the water and down into the earth, and Gaia can take care of the rest, kind of thing. So, I mean, there's a ton of different ways that you can do it, but those things are very powerful, I believe, and they're very, just like our 3 breaths in the morning, and just sort of seeing those ideas of the 3 components coming into equality with each other, and balance with each other, and harmony. Harmony's another one. Harmony, she's younger though. She's not one of the old ladies. The old ladies are the wise ones, grace and ease, but Harmony, she's a little bit younger. Wouldn't you say? Can't you feel her energy? She feels a little bit younger to me, maybe in her 30s. You know, she's out to have a good time. She's maybe not so wise on the ways of love yet. You know, she's a little bit naive, Harmony, but she's a wonderful energy too, right? We can bring her in. We can give attributes to her. We can make her our good girlfriend, Harmony. Call up Harmony, have her come over, hang out with you for the day. All right, so enough of that. I just think it's funny, but you know, they are energies. They are things that we can play with, that we can sort of bring into our space. All right, I'm going to let you guys go. Have a good day. Thank you for tuning in. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Share these videos out if you enjoy them. Tell your friends about them. I don't know how I'm supposed to be growing my audience. I'm doing the best I can, and I don't know. But I am going to move forward in grace and ease today, and I will see you guys later tonight. All right? Have a good day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.